Put simply, touch my tattoos, we have a problem. So something has come up in a few group chats I'm in. So I'm in lots of group chats with lots of cosplayers and some photographers. We'll discuss upcoming cons, cosplays, photography ideas, and as a photographer I'm often asked questions about interactions they've had with other photographers. One of the biggest discussions we have is editing. Editing etiquette is something that should be across all aspects of photography. But when you're directly working for someone and giving them images for free or as part of like a trade for print situation, which is what a lot of cosplay photography is, you should have that discussion with them up front. My very basic rule of thumb is if it's something that wouldn't be there normally, I could probably get away with editing it. For example, if a model has a breakout, or cosplayer, I use the term interchangeably. If a cosplayer has a blemish, like a breakout, 9 times out of 10 I probably wouldn't have an issue, or the cosplayer wouldn't have an issue with me saying, is it okay for me to edit that breakout out? That is different to someone who is living with a relatively severe acne, a skin condition, because they might see that as you insulting them or not, you know, them being really self-conscious about a skin condition. Tattoos is another one. I have known cosplayers have their tattoos very badly edited out of a cosplay because the character didn't have tattoos, so the photographer decided they couldn't have tattoos. Let me reiterate, if anyone wants to ever touch my tattoos, we'd have a problem. They are part of me and I have them for reasons, and a lot of other cosplayers are the same. Now I do get bookings from my makeup work and also photography and cosplay work where I'm asked to cover them. For example, I have an upcoming Geralt Rivia shoot where Geralt is going to be naked in a bathtub and the character has no tattoos. The cosplayer playing them has a reasonable amount of tattoos and they have asked me to cover those tattoos. That's a choice that they have made and I'm all for supporting it if they have made that choice. This then leans into digital retouching, weight adjustment, and just generally altering someone. As the photographer, I personally don't think you should initiate any of these conversations. Apart from, like I said, a singular blemish, something like that, probably fine. But if a model or cosplayer comes up to you and says, can you please edit something, you know, I'm having a bad breakout, my eyeliner was done a bit badly today, oh I don't think these scars look too good, can you fix something? Then if it's something you can do well and you are comfortable doing, then do it. Remember, if you're not that confident, it's better to not do the job than to do it badly. I personally, I've always struggled with my weight. I know a lot of people who have had weight issues. I am not a fan of editing weight significantly in a photo. It's a personal boundary. I will do slight adjustments, but it is at my discretion and it's something I've always struggled with doing to people and making it look good. And I know where my limits lie. Skin retouching is something I'm much more confident at. It's something I've had to do for years in beauty photography and portrait photography. But you have the discussion with someone. One of my really good friends who is a relatively well-known spider person cosplayer, they had their face completely altered. Jawline was adjusted, eye shape was slightly enlarged, to the point that the photo didn't really look like them, and they messaged us in the group chat and tagged a bunch of us who are photographers and said, how do I bring this up to them? Like, the rest of the image was really well done, but they'd done stuff to their face that they weren't comfortable with. And that was a discussion that we had to sort of guide them through and say, I'm really sorry, do you have images of this that don't have my face edited. I'm not comfortable with that. I really like my face. You know, it's taken me time to actually like my face, so please don't change it in future photos. And then also they'd posted that photo already, so they requested that they either take it down and re-upload one without the face being edited, or they requested that tags be removed so it didn't link them to them. So yeah, as a photographer, you should always think about how your edits are going to affect the person looking at the photos. You need to be careful. Disordered eating is a thing, and it's quite prevalent within the cosplay community and in the modelling industry. So that's something to really be aware of, and they, as a model, they don't have to tell you anything like that. That's not your business. But you should always err on that side of caution of how can this image affect someone. Yeah, and just go from there. Be very careful with your editing. I am very much a light editor. I would rather get things like I said, I'll edit a blemish slightly. I will remove hairs that need moving out of place, but I'm never going to completely airbrush someone's skin for this sort of work. To do a good job, it takes a lot of time, but also it's not appropriate for what we're doing. I don't really like high-end retouching. My job as a makeup artist means I want someone to see an image and see an image I can produce. So if I've suddenly made these images in Photoshop, it's not what I'm going to produce on film, or like in person, sorry, they wouldn't see that. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But I do think, unfortunately, social media, our phones, Instagram, really gives beauty filters. It's a lot easier to do it, so people kind of expect it sometimes.